As the conflict between Israel and Iran enters its second week, Filipino motorists may soon feel the pinch at the pump. The Department of Energy says oil prices are set for a big hike next week. Diesel could go up by as much as 4 pesos and 80 centavos, gasoline by up to 3 pesos, and kerosene by around 4 pesos and 40 centavos per liter. These price hikes expected by June 24 are based on trading data from Mean of Platts Singapore. Transport Group Manibela warns against using this as a basis for a fare hike. In an interview with One News's Afternoon Delight, Manibela Chairman Mar Valbuena says a 1 peso fare hike would only hurt commuters further. He is instead urging the government to temporarily suspend the 6 peso excise tax on fuel amid the ongoing conflict.
Kahit isa lamang doon sa ipinataw na mga yung value added tax, yung excise tax, kahit lamang po yung excise tax na 6 pesos ay matanggal muna pansamantala habang may conflict sa Middle East. Wala namang basihan yung increase, parang tumingala lang sa langit, nakita na pwede natin palang i-increase ng ganito kalaki, parang ganun po ang nangyari. Ilang days po ba yung petroleum reserve natin dito sa Pilipinas? Yan ang gusto nating malaman kung kailan ba tayo umaangkat ng mga produktong petrolyo bago po tayo magtaas.
The appeal of Valbuena is on the heels of the LTFRB's announcement that it is considering a 1 peso across-the-board fare hike. Now, that adjustment could take effect as early as the first week of July. However, the LTFRB clarified that there are no plans yet to raise per-kilometer charges, as this could place an additional strain on commuters. Any fare adjustment would depend on global oil price movements, particularly if the prices exceed the $80 per barrel mark. At the moment, Dubai crude is trading at $70 a barrel.
And to weigh in on the looming fuel price hikes and the ongoing impact of the Israel and Iran conflict, we're joined by DOE Oil Industry Management Bureau Director Rino Abad. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Director.
Ma'am Seth, magandang gabi sa inyong programa. Of course, sa ating mga kababayan, magandang gabi din po.
So ano po ang magiging impact sa atin, and especially na meron tayong buffer na which will protect us, but then this may run out?
Ma'am Seth, liwanagin lang ho natin, itong nangyayaring gulo sa Iran and Israel, Iran lang ho ang miyembro nung mga major oil producing countries sa Persian Gulf, no? At to date, wala ho kasing actual supply disruption from Iran. And of course, the bigger group of supply na galing talaga dyan sa Persian Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, kasama ng United Arab Emirates, wala rin hong nangyayaring supply disruption. So, saan ho nang gagaling yung increases na to from last week, pumuloy-tuloy this week, at yun na nga, magre-reflect ng mga increases na next week, tuloy-tuloy na ho. Yan ho'y tinatawag ho natin na due to speculation, no? So, itong speculation ang nagpupush mismo ng increases. So, liwanagin natin, wala ho tayong problema sa supply. This is really a problem on the speculation ng trading ng mga petroleum products at naapektuhan po yung pagtaas ng price.
Yes, but of course, syempre yung speculation because of fear na posibleng a time will come when supply will be affected. Ano po ang measures na ginagawa natin?
Ang sitwasyon ho kasi ng Pilipinas at saka ibang bansa din ho, kadamihan, almost lahat ng, lahat ng ASEAN countries, no, wala ho tayong tinatawag na strategic petroleum reserve. So, ang atin hong ini-implement na regulation ay on the side of the oil companies na mandated ho ang mga oil companies to maintain 15 days supply ng refined product for direct importers and refiners na mayroong 30 days supply ng petroleum product. Kasama na ho ang crude oil. So, ito ho ay hindi naman ho nakadesenyo na kung magkaroon ng global crisis, gaya ng pagsasara na sinasabi dyan sa mga worst case scenario, pagsasara ng Persian Gulf mismo, yan ho ay hindi nakadesenyo para tumagal. That's 15-day day supply at pag nagkaroon ng ganyang wala ng access tayo sa replenishment or mahirapan ho talaga, I think hindi ho ito pupunta doon kung hindi ito maging global problem. So I think we need to look at ang option na lang ho natin is pumunta doon sa non-OPEC countries kasi nandiyan pa naman yung US, Canada, most of South Brazil, most of South America at of course nandiyan si Russia no na malalaking bansa na nagpo-produce ng oil. So ang takbo ho talaga is pumunta sa mga non-OPEC countries.
But right now, you don't see, as you were saying earlier, no danger as of now.
Well, ang historical natin na mapagkukunan ng experience, no, since 1970s, which is even in the case of the actual war, between Egypt and Israel at saka pinagtulungan pa ng ibang bansa, ang Israel, wala hong nangyaring blockage ng Persian Gulf. So, ang usapin ho na yan na nakikreate na takot, to date ho, wala ho tayong ganong nangyari dyan sa Persian Gulf. If at all, magka-problema si Iran, meron ho, kasi ang Iran nag-export ho yan ng 1.57 million barrels of oil per day. Ang demand ho ng global demand on a daily basis is 104 million barrels per day of oil. So, ano po yan? 1.5 to 1.6% lang ho. At ang export na yan, pinaghahatian ho yan ng China, Japan, South Korea. I think kung tatamaan ho yan, diversified ho ang mga buyers, napakaliliit na lang ang dating doon sa mga bansang to. All of them are in Asia Pacific. Hindi na ho ganun ang impact kay China. China is consuming around 16 to 17 million barrels of oil per day. And China is importing around 350,000 barrels from Iran. So, hindi ho talaga pag ang Iran ho ang magkaproblema, hindi ho. Ang medyo may problema tayo kung ang buong Persian Gulf. Kasi that's 17% of the global market. But that problem, Ma'am Tess, will be not only a Philippine problem. It will be a global problem.
Right, Director. Actually, kaka-check ko lang nung Brent crude tsaka West Texas, medyo flat naman sila today. Pero yung peso kasi medyo humina siya significantly in the past 2 days. So, how is that going to impact yung pag-imbak natin ng petrolyo moving forward?
Yes, confirm ko yan for the past 4 days, Monday to Thursday na monitoring namin sa US dollar versus peso. Medyo humina tayo ng almost 94 centavo, no? That's almost 1 peso na paghina. Lalo lang ho nakakadagdag ho yan. Nafa-factor in ho yung paghina na yan doon sa impact doon sa increase ng adjustment next week. So most likely, nakapagpaliit sana yan ng konti doon sa sinasabi nyo kanina ng mga estimate. Kung hindi ho, sana gumalaw yan at nanghina ang ating Philippine peso. Very unfortunate na isama ho at na-timing ho yung ganyang sitwasyon for the trading na nangyari for the past 4 days.
Pagdating naman dun sa mga subsidiya, which will only kick in pag pumalo na sa $80 per barrel yung oil index, sapat po ba yung funds natin dyan and how sustainable is that?
Well, ang nasa GAA ho, tama kayo, ang sabi ho doon, the trigger ng release ng DBM, ng fund, at yung authority ng mga implementing agency na i-release na yung fund to the beneficiary. At ito'y dalawang klase, isang binigyan doon, public transport, at ibinigay ito sa implementing agency ng DOTR at ng LTFRB. At saka yung isa ho, mga 2024 and 2025 budget combined to around 585 million pesos. binigay ho ito to the Department of Agriculture. Liwanagin ho namin, ang Department of Energy dyan, ang trabahong binigay sa GAA, sa batas ng budget, ay mag-certify ho kami para ma-trigger. Last February, first week of February pa lang ng taon na to, nag-certify na ho ang DOE to DOTR at saka kay Department of Agriculture na triggered na ho. In short, February pa lang, inaasahan na ho natin na yung dalawang agencies na yan, nagsimula na ho silang mag-implement. At ang tanong na lang kung anong level na ng implementation sila sa panahon na to. Kung nasa ang banda sila. Ang ating public transport, nilaanan ho ng 2.5 billion pesos. Ang Department of Agriculture, 24 and 25, 585 million pesos po.
Director, itong proposal o yung kinoconsider ng LTFRB na across the board fare hike, inevitable na po ba yun? At anong masasabi niyo po dun sa suggestion ni Manibela Chairman Mar Valbuena na ang dapat gawin ng gobyerno ay isuspend na lang muna ang 6 peso excise tax sa fuel?
Well, ang una muna nung magsimula ang taon, ang gasolina ho, ang pump price, at alam ko na experience nyo to, nung January of this year, ang gasolina ho, common pump price ay nasa 70 pesos. Before this problem, ang gasolina ho natin pump price is nasa 54 pesos. So ngayon nag-adjust ho tayo last week ng 1.8 peso per liter. So that's around 56 to 57. So may increase ho tayo next week na andyan po sa around 3 pesos. So aabot ho ito ng 60. But this is way below the 70 pesos nung nagsimula ang taon. Ang diesel nasa 60 before the problem this week. Meron ho tayong common pump price na nasa 51 to 52 pesos lang. So mag-i-increase ho tayo nag-increase po ng 1.8 plus yung inaasahang more than 4 pesos. So mga 6 pesos plus 52, nasa 58 pa lang ho tayo. Ang tanong na lang ho natin kay LTFRB, kung January na nasa 60 ang diesel at nasa 70 ang gasolina, nag-increase po ba sila? Kasi ngayon, that is a big factor to consider kasi ina-approach pa lang ho natin yung ganong level ng pump price. So hindi ho bago yan at I think it should factor in sa kanilang decision. The second question is, pwede ho ba nating ma-suspend ang excise tax? Number one, kailangan ho magpasa ng batas to suspend that. Kasi nasa train law ho yan at kasalukuyang ini-implement yan. Ang 6 pesos pala is, by the way, nasa diesel lang ho yan na excise tax. Ang mas malaki ho natin yung gasolina kasi nasa 10 pesos po yan per liter. But again, ang paraan ho ng pag-suspend niyan ay hindi ho sa executive level, sa executive department. Nasa Congress po yan, nasa legislature natin, at kailangan ho sila magpasa ng batas to suspend that.
All right. We thank you for your time. That was Rino Abad, Director of the Oil Industry Management Bureau of the Department of Energy.